It's 2026. It seems like everybody's worrying about money. But before you go creating a budget, what you really need to do, in my opinion, is track your bills. It's really two separate things. It's two separate skills, really. And the way I do it is I just put all my expenses and all of my earned income into a spreadsheet. And then I just classify each of those transactions. I subtract all of my expenses from all of my income. And then with all that information, I will create a budget. I'm just going to go over some of that in this video and just kind of spitball on it. I have a few notes. I'm not Mr. Financial Success over here. I'm almost 40. I'm living at my parents' house. So don't take any advice from me, really, when it comes to the money department and making money. But I do feel like this is one area where I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at tracking my money. It's helped me see the world. I don't have any debt. I don't have any credit card bills. In fact, I've never had a credit card. Yeah, I don't want to try to brag about my situation because I'm definitely not financially secure. And I also want to recognize that I'm a very privileged person. So let me just put that in there as well. Not everybody can just go live at their parents' house. So I just want to recognize that. So yeah, don't feel like you're behind. Money can stress people out. Ever since I started tracking all my money, I do feel like it has relieved a lot of stress when it comes to money and finances and that stuff. So I definitely recommend doing this and just giving it a try for a few months. The easiest way to do it is to actually log into your bank, and you can download, I think it's like a CSV file, which is basically just like a spreadsheet form. And then with that spreadsheet, I'll put it into my own Excel file, like a Microsoft Excel, or I used to use OpenOffice, but yeah, and then you can just classify everything. You basically just create a data validation list. It's basically, you ever click in a cell in Microsoft Excel, and then you can select from a drop-down menu, you can create a custom data validation list. And it's basically that you can create these custom lists so you can categorize each transaction. That's the way I do it. My categories, I can try to do it from memory, but I just made a little acronym. It's Big Ho Friend, which who doesn't want a big ho friend, right? Stupid. The B is for bills. So that's like anything that is auto paying. So car insurance, my phone bill, gas or electric, or any kind of bill that is automatically coming out of my bank account. Usually the easiest, in my opinion, is to set it up to auto draft so you never miss one of those payments. But yeah, that's one category, bills. I is for income, money from your job, a side hustle. If I sell something, say on Facebook Marketplace, and I get cash for it, I'll still make a little note and I'll put it in a stack of receipts. I always get receipts when I go to the store, and I pile it in a pile on my desk with a little paperweight. So that way at the first of the month is when I will do my bills and go through it all and just make sure it's all there. That way those cash transactions get logged, because when you download it from your bank, those aren't going to be there. So I'll put those at the end of the bank copy and pasted CSV file. That way it's all logged. And basically money in, money out. It's just every transaction gets logged for the month. Okay, G. Let's see. What is G? G is gas and car repair. So it's kind of like the same category, but anything for my vehicle. So I'll put my gas prices in there, or if I need to buy like an oil filter for my car, or like I bought some spark plugs a couple months ago, those would be in that category. The H is for healthcare. So that's the only auto paying bill that's not in the bills category. I put that all into healthcare. And really, I just started doing that because it just started getting so expensive. This list might be different for you. I'm just telling you how I do mine. O is for other. Other, usually I don't have that many crazy other expenses. I got to get a haircut soon. As you can tell, it's getting pretty crazy. Well, it's not that bad right now. I don't know. That's kind of but it's kind of an other one. I'm not gonna, if I'm not working and my money's getting really low, that's the category I don't need to be spending any money on, because I'm not going to die if I don't get a haircut. It's other. It's something that doesn't fall into one of those categories. F is for food. Pretty self-explanatory, but specifically food at a grocery store. And that's where most of my food expense is coming from. R is for rent. I know I do live at my parents' house, but I do pay them rent. I do pay them to live here. But it is a lot less than I would be paying if I had my own apartment. That's for sure. And of other times that I have lived with roommates, it's been pretty reasonable, but that is a big expense for a lot of people, especially now here in the United States. E is for eating out at restaurants. Get your mind out of the gutter. That's something that I don't do now that I have celiac disease. There are no restaurants in my area that have gluten-free food or any of that stuff, so I definitely do not eat out. I have not eaten out in almost 2 years. So that is a category that I don't have trouble with, but I know some people will really struggle with that. And once they put all their money in their spreadsheet, they're going to see like how much they're eating out and how much money it adds up, man. Like if you're just going out to eat 2 or 3 times a week, that really adds up. And then the N, I just put that for NA cancels out. So let me explain this one. And it just really helps the spreadsheet make more sense because everything should have a category. And the NA cancels out would be like, let's say I went to REI and I bought a jacket, and that would be an other expense. And then I decided I didn't like the jacket and I returned it and they gave me a full refund on it. So for both of those transactions, I would just put NA cancels out. Or if you go to the ATM and you get cash out, that's one that you would put NA cancels out because you didn't really buy anything yet. Now that only works if you're going to put in your cash transactions in there. So if I take $40 out of the ATM and I would put NA cancels out, but then I go and buy $40 cash, something off Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something. Is anybody still using Craigslist? Probably not. But let's just say that $40 is then classified for something, whatever you bought. That's the reason why there's that N in there. It just makes the spreadsheet make more sense. The way the spreadsheet works is once you select a category, it automatically adds it to other things within that category. And then it puts them all in like this little sidebar area. And then it will automatically subtract the income from all of the expenses added up. But it just makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker. So, I mean, I can do my bills now in less than 10 minutes. As long as I don't have to like remember what it was that I bought, because it could be 3 or 4 weeks ago that, I'd created one of these transactions that I might have to go and look and think about what it was that I bought, but that's pretty rare and it just makes it easy. So it's not overcomplicated to me, but some people might think it is overcomplicated. And if this video does really well, or even if a couple people say they would like to see the spreadsheet, then I'll make another video and show you exactly how I do my spreadsheet, and I'll even share it with you if anybody wants it. So I'm not going to share my personal finances with you, but I'll create like a blank template so that way other people can use it if it's something that you want. And you can change these data validation lists and create your own custom categories in case you want to create a list that works for you. That way you can create your own custom list for your personal bills tracking spreadsheet or whatever you want to call it. And really, it's not about some like magic spreadsheet, and you can get lost in creating this, perfect spreadsheet and making everything make sense and trying to really get down to the penny. It's really more about getting the mindset around tracking all of your money. In my opinion, this will really help you understand what you're doing with your money so that way you can create a budget. It's sort of like in the United States when you go to the grocery store. How many of you watching out there, when you go to the register, do you know exactly how much it's going to be? You probably don't. Unless you're walking around with your calculator out, you're putting it in the exact price and then calculating the sales tax. And it's unfortunate that it's like that, but it just feels like the way it's set up is for us to kind of not think about money until after we've spent it. So that way we're always having to earn more, and it's harder for us to track and harder for us to keep up with how much we have and how much we should be spending. It's too much, man. It's too much to be thinking about. So this really does help though, creating this little spreadsheet so that way you know that it's all there. And in my opinion, just knowing that the numbers are written down somewhere and everything's going to be okay. And look, you made money last month, maybe not as much as you had hoped, but you made something. It's there, it's recorded, and it helps you keep more control in it. Everything's on paper, so you can always go back and check things out. One thing that really helps me is doing it on a specific day of the month. So I always do it on the first of the month or as close to the first as I can get. That way everything's cleared in the bank and always try to make it make sense. You just got to make certain rules. If the transaction happened within that month, then log it within that month. Don't try to like get ahead and put it in last month because then it gets like out of hand. You just got to make certain rules for you when you're doing it. Doing it for 1 month isn't really going to help you. It's more like doing it for 5 or 6 months months and then comparing all of those months. Once it spits out that 5 or 6 lines of telling you what you spent in each category, and then you can compare those 6 months, then you get a lot better idea of what you're spending on, all of your bills, all of your healthcare, all of your gas and car repair expenses. So that way you can really start to design a budget after you have a good half a year of doing this. When it comes to making a budget, it doesn't have to be all about penny pinching and trying to save as much money as possible. You just kind of want to know where your money is going. And again, man, this isn't Money Mike over here trying to be all Mr. Financial Success. I'm not like wearing a suit and tie like one of these finance YouTube channels. I think this is like basic step one, just see where your money is going. And a lot of people say that, but they don't really like tell you how you're supposed to get there. And that's this little method that I've created with this spreadsheet has really helped me. Going back to like not being able to penny pinch and all that. I mean, you can bake in to your budget like the ability to splurge. Like go ahead and put, if you got the money, man, why not? If you want to blow $1,000 a month going down to the Pink Pony or wherever you want to go, then just go ahead, bake that into your budget. I don't know, whatever you want to do with your money. It's your money. I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your money. I'm just saying, like, I think it's really helpful to track where every dollar is going if you can. It's not really about the technology and having things auto-populate with this data validation list, this custom data validation list, and having it all do that. Not that it's that fancy, but really you could do it all by paper too. You could do it all. You could track every expense old school and just do it all with a calculator or even just old school math. Like if anybody still remembers how to do that, like doing the long form division and all that. And you could do it that way too. So there's no right or wrong way to track your money. It's just about actually doing it. Okay, so I think I've said all that I want to say in this video, but I do want to leave you with one last thing, and it's really the big point that I'm trying to make in this video, and that is that tracking your bills and budgeting are two separate things. So tracking your bills really gives you awareness about where your money is going, and creating a budget is something that you can really only do successfully once you have that awareness. So yeah, I think that's worded as good as I can word it. So roll that back if you want, but thanks for watching, everyone. This is Just Mike talking. Hope to see you in the next one.